The following episode may contain inappropriate material. Listener discretion is advised.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to a... Hold on. Crap, I just broke a nail. Dang it. Hold on, guys. I'm going to go grab my replacement nails so I can put on with the adhesive. Anyway, thank you. I got that taken care of. Welcome back to Mattalk. If you don't know what that intro was about, you're about to find out as we talked about this episode of Matlock. But I do want to say that we lost somebody else from the Murder, She Wrote family. Unfortunately, he was a star of Murder, She Wrote. We recently lost Angela Lansbury, and we did a video saying our condolences and talking about her a little bit. But we lost Ron Masick, who played the sheriff on Murder, She Wrote. Very accomplished actor who was in lots of cool stuff.
Yeah, he played Mort Metzger, who was the sheriff. And I think that's after Tom Bosley left. If I'm not mistaken, I think he was after Tom Bosley, right?
Tom Bosley is in the seasons I'm watching now. So
which are seasons Tom 1, Bosley. 2, and 3?
Yeah.
Okay, so he came after Tom Bosley then.
Yeah, there's like 400 seasons of Murder, She Wrote, so I'm sure I'll get to him. He was on Love American Style, which, if you don't know, that show is the show that Happy Days was spun off of. And what else was he on? Bewitched. Bewitched is one of my favorite television sitcoms of all time, and he was in the classic The Flying Nun.
So rest in peace, Ron Masick. You will be missed, and we will always have fond memories of you while we visit Cabot Cove, Maine, which, by the way, does not exist. It's not an actual city in Maine, by the way. In case you were wondering, Jason, totally fictitious. It sits right next to Dudleyville and parts unknown. A little wrestling humor for you all about 3 minutes into this episode. But anyways, Jason, let's real quickly want to thank everybody for checking out the last couple of episodes. We really do appreciate it. Man, it just blows my mind when we look at the numbers that we're still getting so many people that enjoy these episodes. And we haven't forgotten about those folks that want to come on and be a guest. We are still trying to get those scheduled. We will be touching base with you if you're one of those folks that want to join. And in fact, Jason, let's let them know where they can get in touch with us in case they want to be a guest and they haven't sent us an email or contacted us yet. Where can they get a hold of us?
You guys can email us at bnmattalk@gmail.com. If that's too much, you don't want to deal with getting into your email, you can tweet at us. John, where can they tweet at us?
They can tweet at us at Mattalk_podcast, which is where we are at on Twitter, and even find us on Facebook at Mattalk Podcast as well.
I am excited to talk about this episode. In the age of streaming, I know I say this a lot, but in the age of streaming, we don't need the preview before the show starts. I know I own this on DVD, and I can just go grab the DVD and put it in. But sometimes you don't want to do that. Like, if you're ever watching TV and a movie that you own is on the television, everybody stops and watches that movie, whether for 20 minutes or the whole thing, when we could just get up, grab the DVD, put it in, start it from the beginning, and not have the commercials. Why don't we do that? Because when we're watching TV, we're generally feeling lazy.
Okay, well, you admit it's a laziness, so I have nothing else to say. I really don't. So, I mean, you got me on that one. All right, well, then with that, Jason, shall we head on into our opening statements? Ladies and gentlemen, the episode that we're going to take a look at today is called The Starlet, and the original air date was February 28th, 1989. And, Jason, we have about 4 very important guest stars to talk about. One,
besides shoulder pads?
Well, besides shoulder pads and Silver LeMay. I'm going to talk about that in a minute here. Making his return because he was on an episode called The Chef in season 1, which, Jason, you might remember. That's the one where we had the Julia Child-like cooking host who supposedly poisoned her ex-husband. I'm talking about, of course, Mr. Roddy McDowall, who will be playing the role of Don Mosher. My goodness, people, his resume is outstanding. Peter Vincent in Fright Night, Octavian in Cleopatra, Caesar in The Conquest of the Planet of the Apes, Snowball on Pinky and the Brain, and my goodness, we could spend another 40 minutes talking about all the roles Roddy's been in, but he is a powerhouse in the world of acting.
I'm a huge Planet of the Apes fan, and I slowly became a Rodney McDowall fan over the years, too, because Fright Night's one of my favorite horror movies. The guy was in a lot of stuff.
Oh, yes. Indeed.
He was the Larry Hankin of the past.
He was. He could rival Larry, maybe, in terms of resume. So, shout out to Larry Hankin real quick there. Anyways, more on that later, ladies and gentlemen. We also are going to have somebody that I kind of know more from the various musical projects that she was in. Nia Peoples is going to be playing the role of Morgan Gerard. And in the 80s, she had like a couple of albums, and she had a couple of hits that kind of made it up the charts, not maybe all the way into the top 10, but, that middle range. But she would also be known as Sydney Cook on Walker, Texas Ranger, Pam Fields on the show Pretty Little Liars, Karen Winters on The Young and the Restless, and Scarpelli in the horror movie Deep Star 6.
Deep Star 6. That's a movie?
Yeah, from 1990, I believe.
Huh.
It's kind of one of those like underwater sea monster scientists invading their territory, the sea monster's territory, and then havoc ensues. You're not familiar with?
No, listen, folks. John decided to go with that movie when he could have shouted out like Walker, Texas Ranger.
I did shout out Walker, Texas Ranger.
Return to Lonesome Dove, Nasty Boys, okay. WKRP, Fame, General Hospital.
Wait a minute. It's the new WKRP in Cincinnati. Show some respect.
Okay, sorry. Okay. The new. And then the Steven Seagal classic, Half Past Dead.
That's a Steven Seagal movie?
Yeah.
Oh.
I know that because that's when I stopped watching his movies. It was halfway through that movie.
So you're saying it's an absolute dumpster fire of a movie?
Yeah, anything after that. It's when Steven Seagal started to not be so realistic in his martial arts.
Well, this is also where he starts putting on the pounds. Because let's address the elephant in the room. He's a large man.
And post ponytail Steven Seagal is lackluster to ponytail Steven Seagal.
Enough said. Argument closed. Let's move on.
I liked with him was Exit Wounds with DMX and Anthony Anderson and the guy who was married to Roseanne, Tom Arnold. I love Tom Arnold. Anyway, we'll move on.
You know what? Side story. Wait a minute. Side story about that Exit Wounds. I believe that there was a story that Tom Arnold likes to tell where DMX in the scene, they were shooting the scene, runs across like a street or something, and a gun falls out of his pants, right? And they stop and they go cut, and then DMX picks up the gun and they're like, "Hey, why do you have a gun in your pants?" He goes, "Oh, this is mine." It was a real gun. It wasn't from the prop department. And Tom Arnold's like, "Why are you carrying a gun on you?" So, anyways.
Dude, after watching that, Tom Arnold and Anthony Anderson should have gotten their own show. They would have been a great odd couple of the 90s. Anyway, we're divulged.
We're deviating from the plan, and nobody cares about DMX. All right, our next guest star, Tom Everett, will be playing the role of Joey DeFalco. Now, you may know him as NSA Director Brian Cochran on Criminal Minds, Judge Mosley on Franklin and Bash, Agent Charles Frost on the West Wing, and Speed Jelko on Days of Our Lives. Come on, hit me up. I know you watched Franklin and Bash, didn't you?
I watched some of it. I've enjoyed it. I haven't watched enough of it. It's got Zach Morris and the dude from Road Trip in it.
Correct. That would be Paul Gosselaar. No, Mark Paul Gosselaar, excuse me. I got his name right.
He was also in Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, which is one of the few Texas...
Wait a minute. Who are you talking about?
I'm talking about Mr. Everett.
Oh, okay. All right. I was like, wait. I thought you were talking about Mark Paul Jean-Luc Picard Gosselaar.
No. And then Quantum Leap he was also on, which my endorsement for Quantum Leap continues.
All right, let's move on to our final guest star. I believe I'm going to hopefully get his name correct because I should. It's an Italian last name. And anyways, Charles Cioffi will be playing the role of Roger Anderson. You may also know him as Judge Kimball on The Practice, Section Chief Scott Blevins on The X-Files, Lieutenant Kramer in the 1986 version of The Equalizer, and I know him best as Vic Andrazi in Shaft.
Shaft. He was in one of my favorite Disney movies of all time, Newsies.
Yes, he was. I did not put that down because I got starstruck with Shaft.
I absolutely adore that film, and this guy, he went out on a pretty big show. Like he did, The Practice was pretty much his last like substantial role, and then he did like a TV movie, and then Gears of War 2, and it looks like he has more or less retired, but he's been on some stuff. So kudos, man. I hope that you're enjoying your piece now. Oh, he was also in Lois and Clark.
Mm-hmm.
My Superman was Dean Cain.
My Superman was Christopher Reeve. But anyways.
That's what happens with older folks. They love Christopher Reeve.
It's one I grew up with. You can call me old. I don't care. All right. With that being said, Jason, are you ready to give an opinion? Your opinion. And only your opinion?
Sure.
Then it's time to testify! All right, the plot of this episode is that a runner-up in a beauty pageant is found dead, and the winner is the key suspect. Jason,
I'm just going to say this from the beginning. This whole, like, the first 10 minutes of this episode could have been condensed down to, like, 2 minutes.
Really?
Continue.
Okay.
It was dragged out. It's the kind of intro for an episode that you would expect from a two-parter, not from a one-parter.
See, I disagree with you on that. I do. I think that this was a perfectly packaged episode. I really do.
I'm one of those people, man. I love the investigation side of everything. I don't care so much about the setup.
Well, our opening scene is just some old-timey footage of a beauty pageant. And look, I'm going to throw it out there. I know I'm looking at this through my eyes from the 1970s when I grew up. But man, old-timey swimwear, it's not pretty at all.
No, it's all about 2022 swimwear, folks.
I'm just saying, even as a kid, like I was looking at that looks gross. Like that's not like, you know what I mean? Like it just was weird looking, I think. But that's just me.
And then John, we forgot one of the guest stars.
Who did we forget?
Jealousy is a big guest star in this episode.
All right. Well, we'll get to that in a few minutes. They cut in this opening scene to that stupid shot that I hate. The no traffic in Atlanta shot. I hate that shot. I wish it would just go away.
Walking Dead, there's no traffic in Atlanta, too.
Well, duh. That's because the zombie apocalypse.
Maybe that's what this is.
Look, I don't want to be mean, but if we're talking about Matlock and the zombie apocalypse, I think Tyler's the only one that survives that. He's the only one that's got the skills to pass through the zombie apocalypse. So that's it.
I mean, Tyler didn't have the skills to be in this episode.
Oh, well. Okay. All right. Here we go. Ladies are filing into this hotel to register for a pageant. And Don Mosher's there. And he meets up with Janet, his old friend, who's the mother of Lauren, who is signing up for the pageant. Or checking in, I guess I should say. Not signing up, but checking in. And then we meet Joey DeFalco. What a scumbag. I mean...
Yeah. Stereotypical as a scumbag as you can get.
How many times do you think he's been to HR?
A lot. He probably lives in there. He probably has his office in the HR department.
You think... The person in charge of HR just knows him on a first name basis. Joey, welcome back. The seat's still warm. Have a seat. Now, did you really slap somebody on the ass? Because that's not allowed. You know, he's Mr. Sexual Harassment at that company. You know he is.
Well, yeah, but he says to Michelle when she walks in his office.
Oh, we'll get to... I have some serious questions about that scene in a few moments. I'm telling you. Well, anyways, Mr. Sexual Harassment is there. And I want to also know, what kind of a name for a pageant is Reach for the Stars? That seems like the worst name for a beauty pageant. Like, they couldn't come up with, like, Miss Southeastern United States or Miss Georgia or something like that. I mean, I know those are probably copyrighted when they made this episode, but Reach for the Stars.
That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to become stars. That's what this whole episode is about.
And it's the 26th annual, by the way.
And if you made it into a beauty pageant to be a finalist, I think all of you could be contenders to become stars.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, let's hear what you win if you are indeed labeled the winner. You get a 2-year contract. You get $25,000 in cash, and you get a new car. I like how they didn't mention what the car is. Again, I know that could be copyright issues. I understand, but I was hoping it wasn't going to be, it's a VW Rabbit.
No, it's a Pinto.
It's a Pinto in 1989.
Don't get rear-ended, folks.
That's a crummy prize, because that car hasn't been made in like 10 years by the time this episode is. Wow.
It's one of the ones that didn't blow up.
It's lime green too. I love the video transitions for this first 10 minutes of this episode. I love the star wipe. I like the flip. I don't remember what it's called, but the flip dissolve, I think it's called. I love that. And we see that Morgan is singing. And man, oh man, has she got herself a silver lame outfit. Holy Toledo Batman, is that some dress you got on there. And I want to know, who wrote this song? Because this song was hilariously bad. But it did sound like something you would hear in 1989. So you got to give that.
That's fair.
That's fair. Then we have a saxophonist who I believe her name was Dana. And this is a few years prior to Bill Clinton and when he made saxophoning cool, I guess. I don't know. She was a trendsetter.
Saxophoning has always been cool.
Has it though? Has it?
Jazz, man.
All right. Abby Smith is going to sing us a song. And Jason, I'm surprised you haven't mentioned Abby Smith. Now I'm starting to second guess your love of horror movies. Abby Smith, man, a.k.a. Tuesday Night, K-N-I-G-H-T, from the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise.
Well, John, if we had talked about that in the beginning, she was also in Amity Moon, which I have autographed. Yeah, I didn't see that. Ooh, I could probably reach out to her.
Let's be honest here. That's a very unique name. That sounds like a name. Tuesday Night. That sounds like a pro wrestling name.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
She was also in a Fat Boys music video the year before she did Matlock.
Yeah, hanging out with all the cool people. Yeah, Tuesday Night. I chuckled. I'm like, I could just see that as a wrestling name. Lauren is doing some weird hybrid ballet dance to a song that sounds an awful lot like Gloria Estefan and the Miami Sound Machine's Conga. Everybody gonna do the conga. What you didn't see, ladies and gentlemen, because it's an audio-only podcast, is both Jason and I were doing the conga.
We were.
Even though we're in two separate houses, but we were doing it. That's the power of StreamYards. Anyways, I had to write down this smart aleck comment. How much sexual harassment went on at this pageant, I wonder?
Well, we already know that there was some.
Oh, we already know there, yeah. We'll get to that as well. The winner is Lauren. In second place, or first loser, is Morgan Gerard. And then that leads us to a scene where Lauren is walking into Morgan's dressing room. She says, I got your note. What do you want to talk about? And Morgan says, as she's smoking a cigarette, by the way, you want everybody to know that your mom was in prison? So Morgan's blackmailing Lauren to get herself DQ'd or hand down the title to Morgan. They pulled this from the Vanessa Williams scandal. I'm sure of it. Vanessa Williams, of course, in 1984, had to relinquish the title of Miss America because there was nude photos of her that had surfaced, which I think it worked out better for Vanessa Williams not to win Miss America because, she went on to have a pretty darn good career musically as well as in film.
Mm-hmm.
She was great in Eraser. I liked that movie a lot. It's underrated, too, as an action flick.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
So, I'll kill you is stated by Lauren if indeed Morgan decides to drop that information. And Dana just happens to enter the room and she overhears all of this. Now, Jason, clearly we're looking at this from 1989 eyes, because by today's standards, I think this whole mother being arrested would not be an issue whatsoever. What do you think?
No, I don't think it would directly affect her.
No, but let's talk about what we find out towards the end of the episode. So basically, Janet, her husband was defrauding people. She was signing off on documents that she didn't read, and she spent 8 months in prison. Okay, number one, I don't think spending 8 months is a big deal. Like, so what? And under the other circumstances, you mean to tell me that Janet couldn't have gotten a PR firm to clean up her name? You know what I mean? With this whole, I mean, she's supposed to be this big wheeling, dealing beauty agent, beauty pageant winner. You don't have a lawyer to help smooth that out? I just thought that was kind of weak.
Yeah, objection. Sustained.
All right. Room service is just walking on down the hallway, and all of a sudden, they're knocked to the side because here comes Lauren running down the hallway, and that means that the busboy or the room service guy, clearly Riley's upset with the fact that I did not properly know his name. I'm sorry, Riley. I'm sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Jason's new dog, so she sometimes makes an appearance. But anyways, the busboy basically goes back to the door where Lauren comes out of, and he finds Morgan lying there, dead. So Ben is in his office. He's reading the newspaper, which is covering this whole story, and he plays a little tune on his ukulele or his mandolin. I don't know what it is, Jason. Do you know?
Was it the news story that inspired him to play that song because he knew who was involved, or does he just get a hankering to play a song for after his morning paper?
I don't know. That's what I wrote down too. I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this right here, right now? And then when Janet shows up, I'm like, wait a minute, time out. Is he playing the song because he knew Janet was coming by and he's trying to woo Janet? I don't know what was going on with this song. No clue.
And no wooing from Matlock.
Well, I don't know, man, because I don't know. He makes the most inappropriate comment, which I don't know, maybe just because I'm a 14-year-old boy inside, I don't know. But he's like, oh, you look good, Janet. Me. Or you look good, Ben. Me, I got everything sticking out everywhere. Hey now. What are you trying to say, Ben? What are you trying to say?
I'm trying to say he's fat, John.
Oh, okay, good. Not that he needs little blue pills.
No. Well, if he got it sticking out, then he doesn't need the pills.
That's what I meant. All right, sorry, ladies and gentlemen. It's gonna get a little wild, I think, on this episode.
Yeah, the jokes by John are strictly those of John Orlando and not of those of the Mattalk family.
Yes. All right. Anyways, so Janet is gonna hire Ben. It's obvious, and this is where basically Janet kind of explains how the husband screwed her out of her freedom, sending her to prison. And then they reminisce about the night that Ben was going to put the moves to Janet. Yeah.
You're shy.
Uh-huh.
I mean, no offense. We've seen Ben's putting the moves on people. And it's not very obvious. Like, he is the complete opposite of Ace Calhoun.
He is the complete opposite of Spike Lee film. He got game, because he doesn't have game at all. Anyways, Ben had to spend a night in a barn because this old lady who they got lost, this old lady let him stay at her place. And, Janet had to stay in the bedroom. He had to sleep in the barn with the mule. And had he not, he was going to drop the charm of Ben Matlock on Janet. Do you think these two would have ever lasted? What do you think, Jason? Let's pretend. Let's fantasy book, as they say in the world of professional wrestling. What would go on if Janet and Ben were a couple? What do you think?
That'd be fascinating.
Would it?
Yeah, they seem like different people.
They do, a lot different. And like, let's be honest, Julie has that certain, like, I want to say authoritarian type of mindset to her, that she doesn't let Ben skate on all of his happy-go-lucky crap. You know what I mean? Like, she calls him out on stuff. I don't know if Janet has that same personality. Michelle shows up, and she's introduced. Do you think Michelle noticed the connection there, the little
Probably.
bit of yeah, I think she did. The lightning between them. And Ben goes to interview Lauren at police headquarters, and that leads us to the courtroom where Julie March is the prosecutor. And bail wants to be set at $100,000. Ben and Julie argue over the bail, which I love that the judge had to go, Miss March, Mr. Matlock, stop yelling at each other. Like, I like how he had to get involved. That was very funny. I liked it. And here's where we start seeing that green is not the color for Julie March. That's right, because she's envious because Ben says that he could vouch for Lauren, and there's a lot of tension and jealousy between Julie and Ben. So we cut to a scene where Michelle Thomas interviews Dana. Dana apparently she was so rattled by everything that she had overheard, she told Don, Roger, and Joey about what she witnessed. And, Dana does have a motive for the murder, but she claims that, Morgan was rumored to be sleeping around with the judges and very important folks. And so it kind of casts the shadow of doubt on Morgan, not so much Dana. And I wrote this down. Do you think, because as we heard in our interview with her last year, at the end of last year, Nancy Stafford was involved in pageants. Do you think that she got the opportunity to kind of be a little bit of a consultant on the set?
That's a good question. I would think so.
Yeah, I would think so too. Like, I'm not saying she knows everything about pageantry. Maybe she does. I don't know. But still, you got that little bit of knowledge that maybe she could part and go, well, that really wouldn't happen that way or whatnot. Julie and Ben, they meet at Morgan's hotel room, and Julie is very jealous. But then Ben gets jealous because Julie dated a former Dallas Cowboy before she met Ben. Here's the thing, folks. I'm just going to be real for a minute. This is the problem with knowing everything about your current significant other. I'm not a fan of that. I'm like Ben Matlock. Look, what happened in the past happened in the past. I don't really care. You know what I mean? Like, unless it's something that is dramatically impacting me and the relationship I'm having with this other person, I don't think I need to know. Jason, are you like me or no?
It doesn't bother me. I used to get super jealous in life, and then I don't. I don't anymore. Because what's the point in getting jealous? Like, either trust the person to go out there and be the person that you think they are, or maybe you shouldn't be in the relationship.
But see, for me, I think it's just not necessary to even talk about it. To me, I think it has the opportunity.
In general, like, Matlock grabbing lunch with an old friend, like, take him at his word for it instead of getting upset or jealous.
Yeah, I agree. But all right. Okay, here's the biggest question about this scene. The phone rings. Ben claims it's Michelle. He answers the phone. He doesn't act like it's Michelle. And who called? We never do find out who called that hotel room.
Wasn't anybody important. Probably Tyler.
Hey, Ben, I'm not coming in today. Okay. Right. Yeah, no, I think I got a new money scam that I'm going to try. Yeah. Okay.
I could never figure out why more people didn't say Tyler Hudson when they would compare Tyler and Conrad. I'm starting to get it because Tyler isn't in this show a whole lot.
Yeah.
Especially after season 1.
Yeah, I think that we're getting to a point now where, as we mentioned a couple of episodes ago with our good friend Gino, I think we're getting to a point where we're going to start seeing Tyler Hudson being phased out and Conrad McMasters being brought in. Ben bum rushes Roger and Dawn at an office, and basically, I like how smooth Ben was here. He's pitching this idea that, hey, look, you take the title off of Lauren, in the public's eyes, she's going to be guilty of sin. So why do you do this? Why don't you stand by her? And then your cosmetics company looks like they're doing the right thing. Oh, man, he is smooth as silk, is he not?
He is. He's got that guy at the tip of his finger.
That's right. So Roger reveals that he actually wanted to pick Morgan. And then the next scene, we see Dawn talking to Ben as Ben is leaving. Dawn admits that he's an old pal with Janet and that he claims that she left around 11:15 to 11:30-ish. So we cut to a next scene where Janet and Ben meet at Ray Templeton's bar. There's a lot more flirting. But then the question of Janet's alibi comes up. She was alone, walking, blowing off some steam. And what does Ben do, Jason? What does he do?
Can anybody corroborate that?
And what is the response of Janet?
She walks out like,
"You go to hell! You go to hell!" Yeah.
How dare you?
How dare you, Ben? How dare you?
I would have just been like, look, I understand you have to ask this question. No, nobody can verify where I was. I was walking the streets by myself and, empty downtown Atlanta, as you can tell by the photo at the beginning of this episode. So I'm sorry. There's nobody.
First of all, number one, why would you just be walking by yourself at night in Atlanta? Anybody walking by themselves in downtown Atlanta, that seems that could be a little bit dangerous, okay? And it also seemed like you go to hell and then she's storming off. Seemed to be a little bit of unnecessary action, if you will.
Yeah.
It made me laugh. It did not make me think, oh, what's going to happen next? So
that was too much anger.
I
almost for a second thought she was guilty just because of how angry she got.
Yeah, I agree.
How dare you suggest that?
Yeah.
Why? I'd never.
Yeah. So, but don't worry, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to hear that phrase a few more times in this episode. In fact, dare I say, this episode is brought to you by the phrase, you go to hell.
Thoughts of John are strictly those of John Orlando. And
shut up. It's not. Hey, you take off that sweater. You take down that sweater. You take down that sweater. You hear me? More on that in a little bit, ladies and gentlemen.
Folks, I don't know what he's talking about anymore. I think John is losing his mind as we record this episode. I mean, his internet malfunctions and phone calls during the podcast and doing his nails.
Okay, time out. Number one, I did have internet issues. They all got straightened out. I just had to reboot the modem. Number two, yes, for revealing a little bit behind the scenes, we had to stop recording for a moment so I could answer my phone for a minute because it was a very important text. So it was a text that simply just said, pull down that sweater. And I was very confused by that. But anyways, okay, back to it, ladies and gentlemen. So we cut then back to Ben's office. It's the next day. Janet shows up and apologizes. And Ben apologizes. And everything is good now. And then we go to what I think is the most questionable scene in this whole episode. We saw old scumbucket Joey on the phone. And Michelle Thomas shows up at her office. Okay.
I can't remember what he says to her. Does he say, hey, baby, or hey, honey, as she walks in?
Sweetheart. Hey, sweetheart. Yeah.
Oh my God. You know how fired I'd be if I said that to a lady that walked into work or I was on the phone with? Like, oh my God, I can't even imagine a customer answering me going, hi, sweetheart. No.
Okay.
I would say that to friends, like no questions asked, but not to somebody I literally just met.
You sent that to me the other day when I called. You were like, hey, sweetheart, what's up?
Yeah, well, we're friends. I don't even answer the phone like that from my girlfriend.
Anyways, okay, wait, time out. This is my question. Okay, I don't know what the situation was, but here's a great scene where you could send Tyler Hudson. Do not send the pretty assistant attorney to the scumbag's office. Like, you just don't do that.
Well, yet Tyler Hudson was unavailable that day, so...
Well, then Ben should have went. Ben should have went. Yeah, not...
Don't tell her what she can or can't do because she's a woman. She could handle that jerk.
First of all, why would you even put her in that uncomfortable situation? That's what I'm trying to say.
Maybe she wanted to go.
Maybe. I don't. Oh, Ben, let me handle this son of a gun. I'll carve him up. Yeah.
Ben, I got this.
You don't worry about it.
She did carve him up.
She did carve him up, man.
Her and those shoulder pads walked in there like a boss.
Oh, man. She reveals that Joey is setting up his own agency and that Joey is very upset at the allegations that he would be sleeping with any of the contestants. He is very upset about this. This was another nice little comedy spot here. Julie wants to be reassigned, and the replacement is Hangman Hawkins. And I love how they kind of argue about the nickname thing. Well, what do you call me behind my back? Blah, 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 blah. And I like how Ben just says, well, I'm supposed to go in there and go, hey, what's up, Hangman? And lo and behold, here comes Hangman right behind him. And he goes, not much, see you in court. I mean, I like that. And that was pretty funny. I like that.
Yeah, man, you should never say, oh, that's an argument you don't want to have with your girlfriend. What nicknames do you have for me behind my back?
Yeah.
And he did a good thing changing the subject. I think any man or woman in that situation would do just that.
Yes. We go to the courtroom where Janet is on the stand. That's where we find out all about her history and her prison sentence and whatnot. Hangman states that the loss of clients due to the prison record being revealed is enough motive for Janet to do the killing. And man, oh man, let's be honest. I know they say it here, in a few moments when Michelle and Ben talk, but I like the portrayal of Hangman Hawkins. Yeah. I hope we see more of him. He seems like a formidable foe for Ben.
Hangman Hopkins.
Another great wrestling nickname, by the way. So there we go. We got Tuesday
I don't
night.
know why Ben's so afraid of him. Ben's got his own things that he does in the courtroom.
Yeah, it's like a heavyweight title fight, I feel, between the two big bad brawlers, you know? So it's revealed that Joey's finances are a mess. Okay, the Corvette got repossessed. He owes money to everybody. And Ben has a brilliant idea. And so in the next courtroom scene, we find out what that idea is. Ben examines Joey and states that Janet's file from Don's office is missing in action, and that Joey has the file. So Joey also admits that he saw the clippings about Janet's police blotter, so to speak, and he provided that blackmail ammunition to Morgan. But then, what do you know? Ben reveals that Morgan was going to sign with another big agency out in Los Angeles, not your agency.
I got to ask this of our Matlock fans. Do you guys ever, like, you're watching a show and it gets down to what you think could be the final reveal, and then do you just check to see how much time is left and then go, oh, this isn't the guy? Because I do that all the time when I'm watching, like, Law & Order, and I get, like, excited and I can't wait to find out. So I just check to see how much more time's left, and then you see, oh, there's 10 minutes left. This isn't the person.
Yeah, I'm guilty of that sometimes. But, hey, if you want to answer Jason's question, Jason, where can folks get in touch with us?
BENMATTALK@gmail.com.
Or on Facebook at Mattalk Podcast, or on Twitter at Mattalk_podcast. And we get an alibi from Joey. Guess what? Joey's having relations with Dana. How many times have we seen this on Matlock? There has been a lot of the alibis of, couldn't have been me, I was having sex with so-and-so. I mean, my gosh. Do you think the writers are in the room like, hey, how can we get an alibi? Well, maybe we can have him, he went out for cigarettes. Maybe.
What was he saying? We were getting into contracts or something? Like,
yeah.
He used a huge innuendo, and you're like,
oh, yeah.
That's awful.
Yeah.
And she gets disgusted and walks out of the courtroom.
But I'm just wondering, like, the writer's room. Oh, we can't do cigarettes. No, we've done that before. Oh, he got drunk. No. I know. He's having sex with someone.
Is she the killer?
Oh, I didn't even think that, man.
Because he was sleeping with somebody else and her and contracts. Who knows what promises were made and which briefs needed to be filed, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. So Julie offers to buy lunch for Ben on the outside of the courthouse when they're leaving the courthouse, I should say. And Ben notices that Joey's getting back into his red Corvette. Little red Corvette. Ben and Michelle Thomas goes back to the hotel room, and they realize that in the case of fingernails, the fake fingernails, the Lee press-on nails, if you will, that there's 3 missing. In the autopsy photos, there's 3 that are not put on straight. They're put on crooked. So we go back to the courtroom. Roger's on the stand, and Joey is blackmailing Roger to get the car back, all right? Apparently he got $45,000 to get the car back. And Roger is having relations with Morgan, it was revealed, even though he denies all of this. Ben brings up the fact that Morgan was sleeping with more than just Roger. She was making the rounds, so to speak, and that probably Roger went to confront her. He got angry. They got into a fist fight. She broke 3 nails off. He kills her, realizes that those 3 nails have like his skin underneath them or evidence because of the fight, and so he grabs those 3, puts them in the pocket, take the other 3 out of the case, puts them on crooked, and leaves. That's enough to get reasonable doubt, which will clear Lauren. And by the way, this is also, ladies and gentlemen, where Ben was demanding that Roger pull down that sweater because he had this big giant turtleneck on.
Don't worry, when the judge and stuff asks you to, you're going to find out. And that whole $45,000 Corvette thing, we didn't get to see that. That's what I'm talking about the intro. Like, we could have added that scene in there. Maybe we would have been able to figure out who the killer was, because this one I couldn't figure out. I don't know that there was enough evidence along the way to get us to this conclusion. Like I said, the lady that walked out of the courtroom in the previous scene was more believable as a suspect to me personally until we got into the courtroom and it was revealed. But it was nothing we had really seen up to that moment.
You know, going back to the sweater comment, I like how Ben goes, when the judge asks you or the police ask you, you're going to do it. And I'm like, is that a little bit of like a police brutality little thing? Like, oh, yeah, the cops will make you do it, you know.
Well, yeah, because they just make them take it off with a subpoena, I think.
Well, or I was thinking more like the cops will take it off of you one way or the other. The easy way?
Go Jack Bauer. Take it off.
Yeah. Pulling up over his head like a hockey fight. Anyways, the episode ends with a scene at Templin's bar. Janet, Lauren, Ben, and Julie are all hanging out. And Julie wants to know what are the nicknames, and Ben says honey. This ending scene was trash. I don't even know why they needed this.
I like the ending scene.
No, I didn't. It was stupid.
It was
no.
It was fine. It was fine. John, guys, he just doesn't have that Hallmark heart.
Are you saying my heart is cold and black?
I can't wait, man. Hallmark movie season is upon us,
Jesus.
and I just found out Freddie Prinze Jr. just made his first rom-com in 20 years, and I couldn't be more excited. Lindsay Lohan has a new rom-com Christmas movie coming out on Netflix. Woohoo, Christmas movies. We're getting some stars. Despite Lindsay Lohan's personal life, she's a good actress, and I'm glad that she's coming to the Christmas movie season.
I have no comment on any of this. I have no comment whatsoever. As they say in court, I plead the fifth. Jason, any other notes or anything?
No. But yeah, follow me, guys, at the Big Geeks J if you want to hear about all the Christmas movies that are coming out on Hallmark. Because I talk about them. Don't worry.
A lot. He talks
representation.
About a lot.
Lifetime Christmas movies, too. All the Christmas movies. Go ahead, John.
All right, then let's get to our closing statements. This is the part of the podcast where Jason and I will rate this episode, and we will rate it based on a gavel system. 5 gavels for an awesome episode, 1 gavel to a pretty lousy episode. Not only will we give our ratings, but we shall also justify why we're giving these ratings. Jason, let's start with you.
It's a 3.5 out of 5. It would have been a little bit better had we shortened the intro and maybe added a few more clues along the way to point towards the guy that ended up doing it at the end. Because I really feel that was rushed. I'm getting to the point where I'm rooting for Conrad McMasters to join the cast just so we can have some of that banter and that back to forth that we're missing with Tyler. Not that Michelle isn't holding her own with Ben. They're great together, 100%. It's just we're missing the comedic element that Tyler always brought to the episodes. And hopefully we get that with Conrad. I don't really remember Conrad episodes. I don't know why. Like, me growing up, the most of the episodes I saw were Tyler Hudson, even though he's not in a lot post season 1. So, 3.5. It was a fine episode. Way better than last week's explosion crap. All right, go ahead, John.
I give it 4 gavels. I thought that I really liked the acting because look, let's give it to our pal there, Tom Everett, if I remember correctly. Yeah, let's give it to Tom Everett for playing Joey DeFalco as a complete scumbag. Great acting there. I felt that the gentleman who played Roger Anderson did a great job. Roddy McDowall did really good. I was afraid he might chew up the scenery a little bit, but he did a great job. I thought the plot and the motive was very believable. I mean, I thought that was, the sleeping around and then the murder because of all that was on the line. I liked that there was some good levity, like with the whole, jealousy angle. I dated a football player and the hangman Hawkins shtick. My only negatives, I didn't really like the ending scene, as I mentioned. And I also, as we talked about, in this conversation that we had, I really didn't find that Janet's police record was so scandalous. I mean, even for 1989, I think that with the right PR guy or gal or the right attorney, that wouldn't even be an issue even in 1989. And I know morals were a little bit different back then, but still, I don't think that would be a death knell to your career if your mom was convicted.
This was Miss America pageant. This was just a pageant. And Twitter wasn't around, so
I
agree.
And the crime, so there was fraud. It's not like she murdered somebody, or something like that. It was fraud, which I'm not saying fraud's not a crime. It is. It's a serious crime, but given all the parameters, I just felt like that was kind of weak.
It didn't even involve the daughter, so
right, absolutely, and so yeah, I don't think that needed to be in there. But so 4 for me. All right,
very cool.
Jason, what's happening on the Three Geeks podcast, man?
We are live on Sundays. I don't know, whenever we decide to go live, you guys can check us out. And then we release our podcast every Tuesday. I'm a bit behind just because life. But I will get that caught up on Tuesday, so you guys can enjoy that. Also, we are working with the great Larry Hankin. Just go to patreon.com/Larry Hankin. Join the Patreon. We got a lot of cool stuff dropping, and it's really cool. I cannot believe that I'm friends with this guy. Like, I legitimately love this guy's work. I remember when the first time I got to meet him, and then he's like, let's do this thing together. And I'm like, is this real? Is this my real life? Anyway, yeah, check those things out.
Yeah, in fact, let's hype it up a little bit here. I mean, when you go to the Patreon page, we have a little teaser video. It's a story from Larry's youth, where he may or may not have burned down a billboard or a barn. We're not sure. But
you find out in the clip.
That's right. You find out in the clip. But it's you're going to get stories like that. We have his early start as a comedian with the Love and Spoonful. I did a whole edit of a conversation that he and I had about Escape to Alcatraz. There's a lot of cool Clint Eastwood stories. So you definitely want to check it out. And we have tiers from all different levels, $5, $10, $15, even up to $25. Or if you just want to, you like the short teaser video you see, you want to leave us $1 or something, there's a tip jar there. And again, we're rolling this out. We are not experts when it comes to Patreon, so there's probably going to be some snags. As we've said before, we appreciate you checking it out. Again, that's patreon.com/Larry Hankin. Check it out. Please do. It's our new project. We're very excited for it. We have high hopes that this is going to be some great content that you all enjoy. And from that, all I got to say is for the PVD cast, real quick, my own personal podcasting project, new episodes drop every Thursday. This past week, I dropped an episode about a convention, a festival, an exhibit, whatever you want to call it. It's called CXC, Cartoon Crossroads Columbus. I was down there a couple of weeks ago, met some cool people from all around North America, and talking about their comics, their cartooning, all kinds of stuff. Check it out, pvdcast.com, or wherever you find great podcasts.
Yeah, John's been busy not inviting friends to come hang out with them at Cartoon Fest. And
you don't even know the name. You just called it Cartoon Fest.
That's what it is. It's animation and comic books. It's everything that I love. Like,
okay.
Like if I went to a television lawyer convention, you best believe I would invite you.
Who would be at that convention?
Denny
Crane. Denny Crane would be there.
Shatner, yeah, and then
James Spader.
James Spader, thank you, would be there.
How about wait a minute. I got one. Have you watched the new show Family Law on the CW yet?
No, is it good?
It's not bad. I've watched only the first episode. I think they're on episode 4 now. I mean, it's good. I like Jewel Staite. I like Victor Garber. So both of those actors being in that show, great.
I've been watching So Help Me Todd, which has been pretty funny.
Okay.
The law show. I would also have The Good Wife on there, and I can't think of the guy's name. Guy Alan Cummings plays. I'd have him on at the lawyer convention too. Eli Gold from The Good Wife. I would have him there. Yeah, it'd be one of the best conventions ever, John. I'd have the whole practice team there. I'd have Ally McBeal there. Oh man, and the guy from Ghostbusters 2, who was also an Ally McBeal. Yeah, it'd be a whole thing. It'd be fantastic. Oh, folks, we should do this. But anyway,
hold on. I just was gonna say, and I know we're going long here. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully, we're not boring you, Jason. I was just gonna say, if we put together a convention, it would be such a hodgepodge of people, wouldn't it? It would be like old Hollywood actors. It'd be current comic book creators on the indie level, pro wrestlers. It would be a true hodgepodge. There would be no continuity or no theme running through this convention.
I'd even find the lawyer for the judge from Doc Hollywood, the Michael J. Fox film. I would find that guy just so I can say I had a connection to Doc Hollywood because that was one of my favorite movies. Anyway, guys, we're not going to keep you.
Yeah, let's go because we're rambling. We're sorry, ladies and gentlemen.
Enjoy your days.
That's right.
Testify and all that fun stuff. We'll see you guys soon.
All right, and as they say in court, nothing further. Following has been a joint production between the Three Geeks Podcast and John Orlando Enterprises, LLC, copyright 2022.
You go to hell! You go to hell!